What's up, guys? UCF Jaguar here, and some new bits of news has broken over the last couple of days regarding this Branden Albert to the Jacksonville Jaguars trade. So let's go ahead and discuss what's been released. Alright, so before we go into the details of what's been released over the last few days, let's keep in mind that nothing with this deal will be official until the new NFL calendar year on March 9th. So really anything can occur over the next couple of weeks. So it's kind of interesting to look over how this trade has kind of conspired so far. Basically, it started off with a common belief that about 24 hours ago, it was just going to be a one-on-one exchange between the Jaguars giving up Julius Thomas and then receiving Branden Albert, their left tackle. But as I alluded to in my last video, it was hard for me to see this happening just because it's so hard to do player-for-player trades just because of all the contract kind of stuff that goes into it. And also, both players are going to have to agree to the trade, which is going to be kind of rough because Julius Thomas, it was presumed that he was going to have to take a pay cut based on his production over the last couple of years. But what he might want to do in his best interest is basically, if he's going to be having to take a pay cut to go somewhere, he might as well choose where he wants to go. But the whole Julius Thomas situation is a conversation for another time. Let's go ahead and talk about this whole Branden Albert to the Jacksonville Jaguars situation. A really interesting piece of news that kind of confirms a lot of this is the fact that Branden Albert was actually in Jacksonville today to, I guess, meet with the coaches, meet with some players, and I guess kind of see if he feels a fit over there. So the word amongst the national media is that the Jaguars would be giving up a 6th or 7th round pick in a 2018 draft. But what I expect out of this whole visit is not only a trade to occur, but actually for him to get a whole new contract given to by the Jaguars. Now, if you don't know that much about Branden Albert, you might be wondering, what are we getting in this guy? Last year, a lot of the Dolphins' success and a lot of Jay Ajayi's success was due to the fact that the left side of the line was so solid between Branden Albert and Laramie Tunsil, their former first-round pick. Now, Branden Albert is a clear upgrade over our left tackle from last year in Calvin Beachum, as Branden Albert's a far better run blocker, and that's actually been his specialty since he's been on the Chiefs and the Dolphins. And who knows, he might actually be opening up holes for a certain running back we drafted number 4. Now, I think one of the biggest concerns amongst Jaguar fans is that he might be a little too old to be able to play left tackle effectively. But he's exactly what we need. We need kind of a stopgap left tackle to kind of take over the reins for hopefully the next 2 or 3 years as we try to draft and develop some guys under him. But as we all know, our offensive line situation right now is terrible. So we need as much age and experience as we can really get at this point. But like I said, the age thing isn't really that much of a concern to me. But what is a concern to me is his injury history. As over the last 3 years when he's been on the Dolphins, he's missed 13 out of 48 games that he's been on the roster. And in my opinion, the best ability in sports is availability. And when you have a guy that you have to worry about being on the injury list week in, week out, it can become a headache and it leads to a lot of instability in your offensive line where stability is absolutely key, and especially at that left tackle spot, one of the most cornerstone positions on the team. I do think there's about a 95% chance that Branden Albert will be on the Jaguars, but we'll see in the course of the next week or two what happens with Julius Thomas because the Dolphins still are supposedly interested in him. But I think the biggest roadblock is this Julius Thomas because he's probably going to have to take some kind of pay cut just because his production over the last 2 years doesn't demand the kind of contract that the Jaguars gave to him after his 2 years with the Broncos, actually 3 years with the Broncos. But I'm going to keep monitoring what's going on with this trade as well as other Jaguar-related news. I just got an alert on my phone while making this video that Jared Odrick was actually just released from the Jaguars, so in a later video, I'll go over that, and I guess just a few other kind of Jaguar topics that might break in the next few days. So with that said, stay tuned to my videos, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll be coming out with more stuff throughout free agency and then leading up to the draft, and then just, kind of year round. So go Jaguars, and Duval!